Hi, if you're watching this video, you're watching my video on dividing integers. This lesson will be very similar to multiplying integers because the same rules apply. So this video will also be very short because the rules are relatively simple and easy to follow. So let's start. When you're dividing integers, the same rules apply, right? So when you multiplied integers, positive times a positive, you got a positive, right? So you got a positive times a positive, positive. But it works for division as well, right? 12 divided by 4 is positive 3. Positive, positive, positive. With multiplication, negative times a negative, or negative times a positive, is negative. It's the same with division. Negative divided by positive is negative, right? You count the number of negative symbols, right? So if you only have one negative symbol, then you know your answer is going to be negative. And the same with multiplication. When you multiplied negative and a negative, you got a positive. Well, when you divide a negative and a negative, you get a positive, right? So the common mistake that happens is people tend not to see those little negative symbols, right? And so they may mistake this negative 12 divided by 4 as 12 divided by 4. And so they'll make an error and they'll not see that negative symbol. And so that's a common mistake people will make. So just to quickly review, positive divided by positive is positive. Negative divided by positive or positive divided by negative is negative because there's only one negative symbol. Negative divided by negative is always positive, right? You have two, I like to think of it as negative and negative. They come together to make a positive, right? So pause the video, see if you can solve these easy questions because they're very simple. You just have to do basic division and then count your symbols. All right, hopefully you paused the video. So in this question, I have negative 40 divided by negative 5. So negative 40 divided by negative 5. Well, we know that 40 divided by 5 is 8, right? And how many negatives do we have? We have 1 and 2. So negative, it's just positive 8. 36 divided by 4, negative 4. Okay, well, I know what 36 divided by 4 is, right? That's 9. All right, I have one negative symbol here. So if I only have one negative symbol, then the answer is negative. For questions like this where you get more than two numbers, it may look difficult. You might say, where do I start? Just pick two numbers at a time, right? So I'm going to go left to right, right? And I'm going to pick negative 50 and 2. Negative 50 divided by 2, right, is 25. But how many negatives do I have? Well, I only have one in this case. So I put that there. Okay, then I bring in that negative 5. Now I have negative 25 divided by negative 5. Well, that's 5. How many negatives do I have? 2. So it's positive. It's the exact same. So even if I had 5, 6, 7, 8 different numbers here, you could still solve these questions by just doing them two at a time, right? 36 divided by negative 6, right? Well, we know 36 divided by 6 is 6, right? How many negatives do we have? 1. So it's negative 6 divided by 3, right? Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2. How many negatives do I have? 1. So it's negative 2. And so that's how you divide integers, right? It's not particularly hard. It's just being wary of where your negatives are. And that's where the mistakes happen. If you need more practice, these questions are really good for practice in your textbook. This will help reinforce those key rules and strategies that can be used to solve integers relatively easily. This is a short video, but I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you next lesson.